You may have heard of a console called the NES. It was apparently moderately successful in some parts of the world. If you grew up stateside in the 1980s or early 90s, then you will undoubtedly be acquainted with the original 8-bit home console from Nintendo. However, over in Europe, we were arguably more at home with Sega's Master System. The video game market didn't suffer from the same chokehold that Nintendo had in North America, and the variety was much richer for it. As a result, Penguin Land, or Doki Doki Penguin Land, may well be more familiar to European listeners. I remember this cute little platform puzzler as a kid. What I didn't know was this adventure was actually available on the Game Boy, if you were lucky enough to live in Japan. You play as, obviously, a penguin who is tasked with rescuing these 3 penguin eggs that have been lost on an alien planet. You don't have to search for them, rather, your job is to guide the eggs down to the bottom of these icy caverns without breaking them. There are various obstacles that are stopping you from doing this, such as polar bears that try to smash them, but you're not completely powerless. There are pushable blocks that can crush them. Transporting the egg is intuitive. You can dig through certain blocks with the B button, but be aware that the eggs can only fall a certain height, 3 tile spaces, before splattering on the ground. You yourself can jump on the egg, but only if it can squeeze out from under you, else you crush it. If you're too slow, a bird comes to try to steal the egg. There are 25 levels in the Game Boy version of Penguin Land, of which you can choose your starting stage. Many aspects of this port are faithful to the original. It looks nice despite the lack of the vibrant colours, and everything is clear. The music is well composed and catchy. However, we have one big shortcoming to contend with. The original scrolls vertically, as you might expect, seeing as you're navigating down a cavern. However, on the Master System, the entire width of the screen was static. It was all on one screen. Here, the screen is essentially 2 full widths wide. This would only be a minor hindrance, except that when you cross that imaginary central line, the whole game pauses so that it can scroll. And if you're trying to maneuver down that middle part of the level, the screen will flick left and right all the time, completely killing any rhythm you might work up. And this happens vertically as well. You're constantly waiting for the game to catch up to your movements. Unfortunately, not a successful way to compensate for screen blur. I may be biased at times to the Game Boy, but I'm the first to comment on the limitations. Although I don't think the hardware was the problem here. It's such a simple game visually, it would surely have been possible to port a suitable version of Penguin Land to the Game Boy. Overall, a decent effort let down by one programming oversight. The Game Boy version is alright, but Penguin Land is better experienced on the SMS.